What's up, everybody, and thank you for joining me on another live stream. Guys, it is Jay here, and I do apologize because I am a little under the weather. I was in bed for most of the day. A little while back, I was able to get up and actually put on the best part of any Friday, which is The Mandalorian and its newest episode. And the thing about it is that this is the second season's finale and everything, and so you knew that they were going to bring some heat. You knew that they were going to have some stuff going on and everything like that. So as far as any of that stuff goes, I mean, this has been a pretty monumental episode and everything. So I definitely wanted to do a little live chat to kind of, not live chat, but live stream rather, to unpack everything that I loved about the episode and kind of do some bullet points here. And then at the end, I wanted to see if I could enable the chat and we could kind of get some dialogue going on. So again, what this is going to be filled with spoilers on some of the awesome shout out loud moments that I saw on the episode. So if any of you guys have anything that you want to talk about, that's going to be later on in the chat and everything. And then, of course, if you're rewatching this on anything afterwards, you're going to be able to kind of jump in, put in your 2 cents for the comments and everything like that. But without further ado, let us unpack this awesome season finale. I can't even begin to describe how awesome this was. And Mandalorian proves that people still like the old school kind of Star Wars era and everything, for different reasons that I'll get to. So, as far as this goes, let's just hit it straight for the jugular. Right off the bat, we got the Mandalorian brothers, as I like to call them, because we got Boba Fett and, of course, Jin going through and actually going back and asking Bo-Katan and her crew kind of for help, which, oddly enough, they're missing the third guy, who was the sole dude in the 3-pack group. I forget if he got killed or if he's just not there for some reason. But anyway, and you can tell that there's some heat and tension between Bo-Katan, her crew, and Boba, because she doesn't like him because she's been through that whole Clone Wars era and everything, and he is still not recognized as an official Mandalorian, which is incredibly awesome, because that type of continuity and that type of fire between characters is always something that makes things a little bit more epic, a little bit more suspenseful, a little bit more dramatic, and that is totally something that I didn't expect to see. But she even disses him. She's like, "I've heard your voice 1,000 times. This armor was my father's." And then she says something about, "You mean your donors?" And I was just like, "Oh snap, Bo-Katan coming with the hits." But after that, of course, we go right into, the big thing about it is, Bo-Katan is being kind of resistant at first. She doesn't want to do anything. She's like, not all Mandos are bounty hunters, because, Jin comes to her for help and asks her to come through and help rescue the child, aka Grogu. And at first she's apprehensive, but then she's warms up to the idea because her arch nemesis Moff Gideon with the Darksaber is on board and they've got his coordinates and everything. So at long last, that goes on through. They go onto the ship and try to rescue tiny Grogu and everything. And while they are doing this, the big thing about it is the Dark Troopers, which, of course, at the beginning of the episode, it's revealed that they are completely AI based. There's no human error or humanity or anyone piloting these things. They're just killers. They're essentially Terminators, which was kind of awesome. It's in different points in this episode, they were legitimately Terminators. This scene right here, I was like, oh my god, I could picture this being Kyle Reese and freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger or the T-800 back in the day. And as he's getting freaking pummeled, no less, freaking Jin, I thought he was gonna really be messed up and bloodied, but there's clearly some damage and brain damage going on. This is like the Russian fighting Apollo Creed fighting Rocky here. This dude is not the same after he's been pummeled, is my best guess here. And after that occurs, of course, the main conflict comes into play as, Bo-Katan and the ladies, the femme fatales, the badass biatches, as I like to call them, are doing some major awesome work. And it comes down to Moff Gideon fighting, of course, Jin. And the thing is that as soon as Bo-Katan said something about the Darksaber not being able to cut pure Beskar, I'm like, okay, this is the fight that we've been warming up to, and that Jin has kind of been leading up to this whole season, getting the best bar spear, getting his armor all the way it is, and being so badass and everything. And the fight was nothing short of awesome. Honestly, it was too short in my opinion, but again, they're just trying to fit this into kind of like those 45-minute episode time slots. But just the fact that him and Moff Gideon were fighting each other was so badass, and I really, really love that highlight. And can I just say, can we get like an official release of the Darksaber that isn't like a kid's toy? Is that in the realm of possibility? Kind of like what they did for all the Star Wars lightsabers and the Legacy lightsabers down in Disney World. I'm just saying, I'd break for that. I'd love that. That's awesome. I know they released like a kids store one or a kids toy one, and then they also did, you know, kind of they have the third-party releases from like the different saber makers and all that other stuff that they do, and that's kind of cool and everything. But overall, I mean, you know, please, can we make this work? Can we make this happen? That's just like a badass saber, in my opinion. And of course, after he does that, he doesn't realize what he's done, because he's actually defeated Moff Gideon for the Darksaber. And the whole big point of this, and especially something I didn't know because I was a live action Star Wars fan, is the fact that the fact that whoever has that has right to the throne, or has claim to the throne. And here we have Bo-Katan here just being like, oh my god, did he seriously take my shit? Because that's really what it's about right there. That look right there is look of disgust, disappointment, and I'm gonna have to choke a bitch, is basically what she's looking like right now. But the episode isn't done yet. The thrills aren't done, because just when you thought that the Dark Troopers were indisposed, because earlier in the episode, after being pummeled close to death and everything, and releasing a whole bunch of them out into space, they come right back full force in a platoon style, and in march the freaking troops, basically. And just as everything's kind of mounting up, you're seeing everything go on through, shit's hitting the fan, literally. And then all of a sudden, all this stuff's going, they're about to breach the doors, and then randomly, and I didn't think that they were going to go this route, there is a tiny glimmer of hope with an X-Wing coming out from space. And I was like, no, they couldn't. They wouldn't. Because I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe Ahsoka Tano is just going to come through. Maybe something's going to happen. But as soon as I saw that X-Wing, that iconic, beautiful bastard of an X-Wing, I knew what was coming, and I couldn't stop screaming at the TV. I was like, Luke, mother effing Skywalker. Oh, my God. Oh, man. And this look was priceless right here. Moff Gideon shitting a brick because the person who basically destroyed the Empire is on his way to claim the child. And that was even more solidified when the dude like got a hold of a blaster, shot a couple people, and then tried to kill himself. But freaking Kara stopped that dude dead in his tracks and knocked his ass out, luckily, because that was a coward's way out, of course. So as that's happening, again, the feels are going through because Grogu is sensing the Force emanating from this Jedi, this beautiful black-cloaked green lightsaber Jedi coming through as he's blasting fools and taking them down. Not literally blasting, but you know what I mean. And the thing is that this is so funny because it's almost like a cyclical thing. It's like history repeating itself, because just as Darth Vader had done some damage at the end of Rogue One and failed, here comes Luke doing his own set of damage, laying waste to all these freaking machines in a badass way to seek out and save the child who has called out to him, and he's heard the disturbance in the Force from episodes past where he ended up coming through and transmitting his presence, as it were, at the Rock and everything, the Grogu, that is. And at the end of it, he crushes a robot in such a badass way. I'm like, oh my God, this is the Luke I wanted to see. And the thing is that if you guys know me, Luke Skywalker has always been my favorite character, and specifically Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. God, I even cosplay as him and have like the Saberforge Prodigal Son and everything, because that's like my favorite Uber Luke. And of course, with the new episodes that were released in theaters, we kind of didn't get the Luke we hoped for. We didn't see much of him anyway. And this is just, my heart hurt. My heart hurt and felt fulfilled at the same time. And earlier in the day, you know, being in bed, looking through social medias and stuff, seeing a non-spoiler post by Kevin Smith talking about crying and stuff, I understood why he was crying. If you're an old school Star Wars fan, if you're a fan of Luke Skywalker, if you're a fan of the Skywalker legacy, if you're a fan of any of the old school Skywalker films and the old school like original trilogy, you had to have loved this moment. That's it. That's my opinion, and if you didn't, okay, whatever, I guess I can be a little bit wrong, but this is the moment that we had been waiting for forever. And of course, the feels get put on even more because the Mandalorian's mission is complete. He has to send off his one and only surrogate son to be trained in the ways of the Jedi so that he is not a danger to himself and others. And he has to just have one last kind of precious moment with him. In a touching moment, he takes off his helmet and lets the child touch his face, and you get all the feels and everything. And then R2 comes out of the corner, meets the little one. I mean, there's just, so much jubilation in the air at this point. I just couldn't contain myself. And of course, at the end, Luke takes the child, and they see them off, and then fade to black. But, of course, at the end, there is still one last thing that we did not anticipate. Well, maybe we did, but Boba goes all the way back to Tatooine, to what used to be Jabba's freaking cantina or place or whatever it is, and then we see Jabba's second in command freaking usurping his throne and stuff. And as soon as that happened, I'm like, oh, he's messing all these fools up right now. They must not have paid him, they must not have done something, or they must have done something really, really messed up, and he has to come back and just waste these fools. And of course, he sits on the throne, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, Boba the Hutt and stuff. And the thing is that at the end of it said, the Book of Boba Fett, coming December 2021. So it's going to be a separate series, I assume, because I don't know. I don't think that they're going to, just scrap the main character of The Mandalorian and exchange him for Boba. I mean, Boba definitely deserves his own show or appearances in, like, film fashion or whatever, of course. So I don't think that that's going to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments if you're watching this or whatever. But that was just too much epicness and awesomeness to handle. And yeah, guys, I mean, season 2 finale, amazing, loved it. I thought it was awesome, and that's really all I can say about it. I mean, there's nothing else that I can really work with as far as this goes to say or really kind of put it into words how awesome and how much I really loved this episode. I mean, there is no better episode. There is no better episode as far as I'm concerned. Of course, it's not perfect. Nothing ever is. And as far as the different things that went on in there, I really, 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 really just enjoyed the hell out of it. Lots of action, pretty cool things going on and everything. But enough about that. Let's open up the chat here and see what's going on. And of course, I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about some random things here and there. So let's go ahead and switch that up. So if you want to join in on the chat, just go right ahead, and then we'll see if we can talk a little bit about everything for the next little bit. But yeah, so going back to the episode, I did not expect them to use Luke Skywalker, especially with people bitching and complaining about, oh, they need to get away from the Skywalkers. They need to, like, I mean, for me personally, I could watch everything about Luke Skywalker or the Skywalker family, like, forever. I could watch more Darth Vader things. I could watch Luke Skywalker stuff. I could watch Obi-Wan stuff. So I like the original stuff and everything. So I never have a problem with it. But I did not expect them to put Luke inside of the episode and just being such kind of a cool and badass thing that it was as far as any of that stuff goes. I did not expect that. I thought that was well done, well played, Jon Favreau and company, and I thought that it was really, really awesome and cool. But as far as that goes, yeah, I mean, the recruiting of Bo-Katan and then having things play out where Din Djarin is like the Mandalorian now. He's like the King Mandalorian. That was huge. Moff Gideon actually fighting and doing something and being menacing. I'm surprised that he didn't get killed, to be honest. So hopefully that means more of Giancarlo Esposito coming in and everything. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it was just so cool and so awesome. As far as anything else goes, I'm really intrigued as for where they're gonna go with this. I mean, I don't think that they're going to be necessarily having what is it? Necessarily having like a Luke Skywalker show or anything to that effect. But I do, if they wanted to give me a Luke Skywalker show, I wouldn't be mad about it. That's all I'm going to say. The visual effects for the face, again, it's kind of those weird floaty face kind of thing. That was kind of going on, but it's much better. It's better than Tron Legacy. Let's put it that way. It's better than Tron Legacy. It's kind of on par with Rogue One, and it's a tiny bit better for Luke how they did that with his face and everything. But yeah, I mean, as far as the next seasons and everything like that, I think that it'll be pretty cool and awesome and whatnot as far as what they get going on in the future. I still want to see Pedro Pascal coming back as the Mandalorian, of course, and I still want to see what more they're going to do with the story. Although if it is done, I mean, I guess I can understand because, being committed to a show can take up a lot of time for certain things. But, I mean, I didn't really see any indicator that the Mandalorian show was going to be taken away from him specifically. But, again, I don't really know. I haven't read any kind of news as far as that or anything to that effect. And as far as Boba Fett's concerned, I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Like, how are they going to treat him and what are they going to do with him down the line at all? But, yeah, I mean, awesome season finale. The show has been getting better and better. I mean, it's uber Star Wars in a time where Star Wars stuff that's been coming out has not been faithful to, like, what it was. But it's also fresh. And it's like, I can't describe the Mandalorian in any better of a way. Yeah, as far as anything else goes, yeah, I think that this is awesome. It's great. And as far as any of that other stuff goes, I mean, hey, the future is all open. We'll see where they go with it. But all in all, I think that they've done a solid job. 2 great, amazing seasons. And, yeah, I don't know. I think the 8-episode count is actually not too bad. Maybe if they want to throw like a 9th and 10th episode in there, make it a 10-episode slate for the next season. Wouldn't mind that. Yeah. And, yeah. So, but anyway, guys, as far as this stuff goes, it looks like not getting too much activity here. Everyone else is probably watching the other bigger live streams as far as anything else goes. So, but that's all right. I've said my piece about it. And guys, if you want to, let me know down below in the comments how you felt about the Mandalorian Season 2 finale. Please do. Was it awesome? Was it epic? Was it a letdown? Let me know down in the comments below. And of course, guys, if you dug the video, thank you so much. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell button if you do. And keep an eye out for all the content in the coming days and everything. But of course, as always, I am Jay. So until next time, folks, take care and bye.